and sisters, we're going to conclude today with this as we finish, and we're still talking about making friends. Now we're going to talk about making those hard choices. There's no question of there's no question how you go about choosing friends, and friendship is a crucial part of your life. Friends are one of the means God used to encourage, teach, train, and mature you. It's been said that there are three kinds of people in your life: those who pull you down away from Jesus, those who pull you along in the direction of Jesus, and those who pull you up toward Jesus. Obviously, you should want to avoid those who pull you down. Bad company really does corrupt good character. So this leaves only those who pull you along and those who pull you up as candidates for real friendships. Therefore, it goes without saying, your best friends should be Christians, the kind of friends who will pull you along and up toward Christ-likeness. Your best friends should be strong, like-minded believers who help you think your best thoughts, do your most honorable deeds, and be your finest self. As you go about the business of choosing friends, start with yourself. Develop the qualities and desire in a friend. Be the kind of person who pull others along and up toward God. Remember, act like you know who they are. Like attracts like. What you are, you will attract. Set the highest standard possible. Those we've been discussing from the Bible. Remember, it's better to have no friends than to have the wrong friends. Select your friends wisely. Remember, you are known by the company that you keep. Remember that. You are known by the company you keep. What company are you keeping? Are you keeping friends that stick closer than a brother? Are you keeping company of friends that know how to make good choices? Are you keeping company with friends that know how to honor their mother and father? Are you keeping friends that know how to build up one another? Be careful of the friends that you keep and pray. Ask God to develop in you that type of mentality, that type of discernment, and that type of boldness to be able to pray for the right kinds of friends. Come on, let's pray this Friday out. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for those that have heard these messages these last 2 weeks. Lord, we pray for the young and old alike. Lord, young people need friends. Middle-aged people need friends. Older people need friends. Lord, show us how to show ourselves friendly. Show us how to love others, how to build up others, Father. So, Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, it's in Jesus' name we pray. And remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. Neighbor, 865-457-1380, or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to Ask Your Neighbor here on a fine Friday. Mayor Burton was scheduled to come in with us last Friday, and then a lot of news was breaking on the school situation, a lot of other stuff that folks were interested in. And so we postponed this because I wanted you to be able to come in here, and we've got a lot of stuff going on in the city of Clinton, good stuff. And I like
a lot of good stuff.
Talk about that. And you said something breaking. You've got something to share right now?
I don't know if it's that important.
Breaking news.
But, you soon realize we can have a lot of stuff going on, but somebody's not picking up your garbage. That's top priority. So
yeah, it's top priority. I bet you get more calls over that than anything.
We've had several, and it's been frustrating. They not to make any excuses, but apparently a lot of the upper management there at Waste Connections. I always say Waste Management. Waste Connections have retired, and I don't know what happened with people coming in. I think they were trying to figure out a better way to doing things. Yeah. I think they've had probably some, less like everywhere else, had some people that left the company and trying to hire people and all that good stuff.
Is what they are.
Yeah, and everybody is. I think you get paid a certain amount that it's harder to get good people in. But that the route, we've had a contract with this Connections, right?
Yep.
Since 1977.
Yes. I know it's been a long time.
And the route hasn't changed.
Really?
Think about that.
It's the same route.
48 years. It changed somewhat because we've added on, but the route itself has not. So you have, when they come up to our place on Wednesday morning, they go there. Well, then they go all the way to the interstate. And service, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. So since that time, we've added about 750 homes since 1977. So with that being said, they're going to realign the routing on it. And let me give you a couple. If somebody, I know a lot of people are into trash, so I'm going to give you some. We're going to get getting dirty tonight.
There you go. All right.
I'm joking. But let me just give you some factual stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we pay as a city right at $33,000 a month with our contract with Waste Connections.
Okay.
Every week, just kind of break it down. Every week, that's 3,785 homes we pick up, places.
Each week.
Each week.
Yeah.
So per month, if you broke it down by individual homes, it's $8.72.
That's about right.
And per year is $104.64. Which is about right at $2 a week.
Which is what you pay for your extra can.
Well, for those people that don't recycle, yes, it is.
Yes.
That's a little dig for you, anybody else. But let me go back to this $8.72 per month.
Yes.
And how, again, Bones back in the day, Bones Sievers, our first city manager, negotiated very well.
Yeah.
He was the Trump of the 70s, I guess, in first negotiations.
Yes, he was.
Give you a little comparison on that. Norris, if you saw in the paper, they stopped their recycle.
Yeah, I saw that.
In Norris, and they stopped their backdoor pickup.
Okay.
But their bill is on their utility.
Okay.
On their utility, so it's not part of their tax. They pay, when we pay $8.72, they're paying $15.50.
Oh wow.
So I guess now when people are saying we got to change, it's like, well, we've worked with these guys since '77. Let's give them a chance to
get a good relationship.
Worked out.
Yeah.
Plus, we're getting a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting 50% off to what Norris just signed up, and if we had to sign up with someone else, it'd probably be close to that $15 mark.
Sure.
So, June 16th.
Okay.
The routes are going to change.
Okay.
And I asked Roger if I can leave this with you, and he said, absolutely not. Because it's not finalized yet.
Okay.
But they're in the five quadrants And like for us, it's not going to change for us.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to do Mariners Point on Wednesday, and if you go out of Mariners Point into town, they're going to do all Charles Sievers until you get to the bridge.
Gotcha.
And that's the Wednesday route. So we'll have detail like that. Now, if your day changes, what Waste Connection is going to do, they're going to put a flyer on your can.
Okay.
Say, hey, this has changed. This is when we pick it up.
That's
so,
cool.
And hopefully that's going to take care of a lot of issues that we've been seeing. And they've hired another person. I think they need to buy another truck. It's easier said than done. I'm sure that's a big investment. But,
sure.
A truck breaks down, somebody's sick, then because now it's only one person driving the truck.
They
you
never
had like 3 or 4 that used to be on the truck.
Yeah, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall in previous years we've ever had a problem until 2 years ago maybe it started when everybody started leaving.
My experience in the business world that people especially younger people coming in say, well, we got a better idea. But also interesting, you think about that's when it changed from picking up the cans to the cans being automated.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to my point too, because I'm sure their head count's much lower than it was. And again, if one person gets sick, well, Joe's not in the back room or sitting in the back of the truck. They can go in the front of the truck now, and they just rotate and compensate for having one less person.
Sure.
That they don't have a truck to operate. So that could be part of it too. But we've had a great relationship with Waste Connections over the years. And I think it will continue. I think Roger and staff has certainly brought the point home to them that this needs to be fixed. Because when the citizens aren't happy, we're not happy. So, and I think they've taken the appropriate steps to correct this. So stay tuned.
Talk to anybody that was in city government, and they talked about speed bumps and garbage cans.
Yeah,
that's been a big big discussion. So.
Yeah. But I always say, well, garbage is a little bit different. But sometimes we get carried away with what I think is little things, and I feel good about it because man, if we're fussing about that. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
If our worst thing is speed bumps and garbage cans, we're better off than a lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. Tell us a little bit about what's going on. We got the pool. You guys going to make some changes up at the park. What all we got happening?
Well, the pool, it's the never-ending project.
Yes.
And that goes back to COVID years and a lot of this stuff too. We're trying to wrap it up this month, and the challenge has been, as you know, it's rained a little bit this month. So I tell like 3 or 4 days ago for the whole month, it rained. It rained every day. There wasn't like 2 days without rain.
Yes.
Until this week a little bit. So hopefully the plan is that we're going to open up the splash pad June 1st.
Okay.
Then we're going to open up the pool the weekend of July 4th.
Okay.
One thing that contractors failed to tell us when they put the last, I call it bonding on the pool and stuff, the final coat.
Sure.
Well, that has to sit there for 30 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they didn't tell us that. So we were kind of telling, we were going to be ready. We're going to be ready. And they said, by the way, it's going to be 30 days until after we put this.
So it has to cure that long or something? That's crazy.
Yep. Then I guess that's just for the pool.
Okay.
So, but
so July 4th.
July 4th is the target date, and we're going to, I always talk about the decreased time to enjoy the pool is pretty much now through, this first the kids go back the 1st of August now.
Yeah. So
when we went to school, it was Labor Day.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend. So
Absolutely.
You lose good 4 weeks.
Easy.
So you go from 12 weeks when we were growing up to at best 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But they were going to try to stay open on the weekends through August, at least.
Okay.
And I'm really pushing, I'm not pushing Roger, but we really had some good discussions, I think, with everybody on council, is to have the pool free this year. And we'll see how it goes for the next year.
That's cool.
But to come in and really be able to enjoy it. So it's going to be great. It's going to be very nice. I think it's something that's needed. I think people don't understand. We are reducing the size of the pool, but there's most communities, for example, Norris,
close it.
They're doing away with pools.
Cove Lake, they closed Cove Lake.
Yeah, Allstate. I think Allstate pools have pretty much been closed.
I think so.
So, and I go back. When I was growing up, when we were growing up, I know about 3 people had a pool.
Yeah.
And they'd call the fire truck, and the fire truck would go up and fill the pool for them. I mean, it's just
back in the day.
That was back in the day. Nobody called me. Somebody did call me early on when I was mayor. I didn't know. I said, hey, can you go fill this guy's pool? So yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah. But nowadays, it's pretty commonplace.
Yeah.
To have a pool. So.
But still, I think it's good to have a community pool. And how long were you guys working on that? That was like a 7-year project.
It's been long. It hadn't been as long as the downtown project, but it's been a good 5, I would say.
It's been,
yeah. Ron, I never have gotten used to being in the public sector and
waiting.
Just waiting.
Hurry up and wait.
When the TAP grant's been like 7 years.
Yeah.
We're going to use planter boxes with dirt.
Yeah.
And we have to get the dirt inspected.
What?
Before.
For the flowers?
For the flowers at downtown. I mean, that's how crazy it's gotten.
The dirt.
The dirt. Like you would just get it out of the ground and put it in a planter for a tree or for flowers.
And it has to be
tested.
What are we testing it for? I mean, who tests it? The state?
Somebody from the state. Or I guess whoever has a contract has
somewhere somebody created that job for their nephew.
Well,
I don't know.
I always say we have too many lawyers on these grant programs.
It's crazy. But, I mean, I understand.
Don't get me wrong. I'm very appreciative. It's the one downtown. It's a $9.3 million grant.
Yeah.
I think our share, the city's share, is like 1.3, 1.2, 1.3. CUB's is a little bit more than that because they were really the big winners out of this whole program because they're getting to change
whole new infrastructure,
the water and sewer, which is probably still clay in some of those areas.
Oh yeah, it's 100 years old in some of the areas.
Yeah. So that's going to be really, really.
And it'll be good too. They're moving it out from the middle of the road over to the sides of the road, so that if it breaks again, you don't have
Dig up the sidewalk, not the road. Now the water's going to be on the street on the front, and the sewer's going to be on the back.
Still.
But it's really going to open up opportunities too for more restaurants and things like that, and to be able to have a bathroom where it has the capacity to be used.
Yeah.
You go to all these antique stores and say, and they can't because
they don't have
the infrastructure to support that. So, but the downtown project is going as planned.
500 and some odd days, they say.
Yeah, about 500 something days, and we're Roger told me the other day. I mean, we're kind of into it right now.
About 100 days into it.
Yeah, we're pretty close to it. Yeah. So it's going by pretty well. You don't really see anything right now because they're doing everything. The CUB's doing their thing.
Yeah.
But you haven't really seen that's really changing. I think you're going to see that here pretty soon.
I liked the parking lot that you guys did, and I liked the lights were a nice touch out there in front of it. That looked really good.
Yeah, the historic downtown helped us with that. Joey Smith, he's all about history.
Clinton and the history.
Which is good. It's good to have someone. Sure. He told me one time, said, you're the longest serving mayor. We can have a plaque in front of your house. I said, you're not going to put a plaque in front of my house. Then we can never sell it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to move here.
Yeah, I don't want to move. But and I'm going to skip around a lot, so
sure,
it's kind of keep me focused. But the downtown project is going well. It's going to change. I'm so excited about thinking about a year from now, how that's going to look, because we're going to have the brewery that's going to open up. Hammocks is opening up the 23rd.
Yep.
Are y'all doing something with that?
We are. We're going out there.
I thought Jay said something about that.
We're going to be out there, I think, with WYSH and with Merle.
So that's 23rd and 24th. I'm looking at it on Facebook, but they have a pretty good, apparently a pretty good singer to come in.
And the new guy, Jasper, was showing me him. They got a young guy coming in. He's good, regional talent.
So we're going to block the road off there, and Jason's going. He's applied to have a beer permit, and along with his good food, and it's going to be a place to go to. I'm really excited for him. And you knew Michael Schrader, I guess. Didn't you?
Oh gosh, I knew Michael well.
He was a card, but I think even he would really appreciate go in and see him. It's like, man, I told him, I told Jason, so you're going to have a beer now. You got to have some Beck's, because that's what Michael.
That's what
he was a snob. He hadn't had the Beck's beer, so at least have a 6-pack there in his honor.
Exactly, have to put something up in his honor.
Yeah, but everything's going well down that area. Darty building real quick. I'll give you a little update on that. I talked to Kent Leach, he's over the project. It's his project, but it's last time I talked to him, there's 39 units, and now there's 35 out of 39 that is full.
So there's 39 total, and 35 are full.
35 are occupied. So that's been a couple of weeks. So they're getting really close
to full capacity,
which they were really having a hard time early on because that window's so tight as far as your range of income.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's the high end, it's like 42,000, and somebody's making 44. I mean, it's like, but I guess they kind of found that sweet spot a little bit better over these last 3 or 4 weeks.
That turned out. For the worry and concern over it, that turned out really to be good.
You know,
even the back of it,
the building, they cleaned it up and what they've done to it. Man, I'm just so proud that happened, and it's going to be there for generations to come. It's a beautiful building.
They
just need a little TLC and a little work. And that's another guy, Bobby Daugherty. He would love it. He would
enjoyed that.
He really would have.
He had plans for it too.
He would
have
had a cigarette with his little tip on the end. He'd be going a mile a minute. You know, he might have done some things differently, of course.
Exactly.
He still wanted that restaurant in the basement. You know, but I noticed I drive by the back, and you know, most of the cars, I mean, they work. They're working. And so you know, when the Market Street's open and the hustle and bustling, they're gone. So I think you might have more of an issue in the evening with the brewery opening up and probably hopefully a couple more restaurants opening up.
Sure.
That I mean, that's not a bad thing. Go find parking space.
It's a good thing. Yeah. That's a real good thing.
You know, you don't want to pull up excited to go to eat and say, well, there's nobody here.
You know, I think too that probably helps some people in their decision to look at coming to Market Street, knowing that there's a residence.
Yeah.
You know, right there, the same place that's got 39 families in it, 39 people. You know, you've got a built-in customer base. So
and you've probably got that many throughout Market Street.
Oh, yeah.
So you got a lot more people.
Sure, in the apartments and everything else that are above that. So
have you noticed, on a side note, have you noticed how much, I'm helping, of course, you know, I do real estate.
Sure.
Helping a friend of mine find a condo in downtown Knoxville. Have you seen the growth
on the south
going
side?
On in downtown and around the new ball field as far as the condos and all that? I mean, that's really truly being a downtown
hub. Yeah.
Yeah,
Randy had a vision, and they really have.
And I'm telling you, talk about on the far side. I mean, it's kind of like us in the city right now. Everybody's trying to find that last little bit of land to build on.
Yeah.
And they're doing a really.
Well, they went across the bridge, went across Henley Street Bridge, and you know, the good news is it's raising property values. The bad news is it's raising property values.
Yeah.
Mine went up 7 times the value of my building from the day I bought it over there.
Which building are you talking about?
On Chapman Highway, just 5 miles off Henley Street. Praise our Knoxville offices. Well, I bought from the day I bought that building in 2016 until today, it's 7 to 10 times the value it was the day I bought it. And so it's like, wow. Yeah. And then a lot of it is being attributed to those South Side condos, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's just 5 miles off the Street Bridge.
The county reassessments were here. I mean, they were high.
Yeah.
But I get, you know, I've owned a few rental properties, and our rental properties, they went up 200 or 300%. But I could see that from a realtor. That was right. If I had to sell that, I could probably maybe get even a little bit more than that, but not too much more. I think they kind of blew it on my house. I think, and I'm not saying that because everybody, everybody says that, but no, I mean, I just know from a realtor standpoint, that's just, it was just too high.
This is what they did. I mean, they did mine pretty high too, and I just told Johnny, I said, well, look on Zillow because you're about $400,000 higher in Zillow, you know, and the price per square foot, you know.
But, you know, they just have a formula. They tap kind of like Zillow does too. They don't take market conditions and things like that. But
and somebody asked me if I would sell it for that, and financially I probably should, but I was offered more than what they appraised it for by some folks from Las Vegas and turned it down. I don't want to leave.
I want to say right now, if anybody wants to buy my house, what it's assessed for, call me. No, I want cash. Cash. Yeah, no, I want any loan or anything we have to work through. But real quick, back on the condos downtown, I called Barry Hutchins the other day because my son and his son same age, and Barry called me 7 years or 8 years. You know, Barry's always got an idea.
Oh, getting the condo over there for the boys? Yeah, he talked to me about it too.
I called him the other day. And so the condo back there is on Gay Street. and that's before nobody really lived downtown. It was $100,000.
Yeah, what is it today? Like, 300, 500.
There are, and I've been looking. They're like 700 square foot. I mean, they're very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it should be, but man, they're not big at all.
Sure.
Most of them are studio and not even a bedroom. It's like $400,000.
I could have bought.
It's not.
Could have bought a 2-bedroom apartment condo, right there. Almost, it was on campus for $44,000. And I talked to George about it. I could have bought that, and then Trey would have went for 4 years, and then the twins would have went right behind him 4 years later, and then and all that you could write off as out of your 529 for the college fund. Yeah. And I got this close to doing it. Hindsight's 2020. Like
that, but hindsight's always 2020. Everything's really good. So
in the long story short is whether you did or didn't take advantage of that, the property values are increasing, and values of thift's going up. And that's
I tell people to say, I mean, they did go up, but feel good. You made a good investment.
Yeah.
I mean, you have what you paid into that, you're getting a good return on.
Absolutely.
Maybe not for yourself, and maybe for your kids someday.
I was going to say,
I'm like you. I'm not moving.
Well, Tracy and I talked about it, and we were like, where would we go? Because everything has went up like that. Sure, you make a boatload of money when you sell your house, but then you got to spend that same thing just to replace it. So
even if you downsize, you're spending the same
thing. Yeah, and that I don't know why. I guess I came. My house is locked in at 2.5% interest, and now you're looking, if you get something different, 6% maybe. Yeah, it's like
those 2.5s or we'll never see those again.
It's if we do, it'll be decades. But it's I can't see my way fit to do it. I don't think that there's a way that I would sell and move.
Since we finished up with J.C. Park, we kind of took a right turn. Talking about housing and things, but we'll talk about the.
Are you gonna repave some of the pass at J.C.'s?
Yes, when we get done, we're gonna pave it. The old armory.
Gotcha.
We are working with the Boys and Girls Club to find some money, and we've already kind of made the commitment. We're going to do it with or without the money, but hopefully they're going for a grant, which we should get.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a couple $1 million investment for us to
renovate it.
It just needs it needs work. The HVAC, the roof, the windows, make everything ADA compliant with the bathrooms and things like that. Because, I think Roger was correct that, we have, it's a valuable asset we have. There's no use. What's the use of just letting it go and deteriorate where we just have to tear it down?
Agreed.
And it's used for the fair, and we could probably use it for more things than what we have in the past. And one of the things we're working with the Boys and Girls Club is to have a daycare.
Okay.
For city employees, which would be a nice carrot to dangle when, it's very competitive out there.
Sure.
We have 16 openings right now in the city.
Really?
And we
Not
have about 100.
Police?
We have including everybody.
Okay.
And we have about 110 employees. So 16, I mean, we're about, 15%, 15%.
Yeah.
And we've increased our salaries, and if we count this year, it's going to be, in the last 4 years, it's been 20%.
Well, that's a good increase.
So, very good increase.
Daycare
but everybody's
will be
increasing.
Innovative, though.
Yeah.
That's something that would
be. But the selected, I don't know how the agreement, which industry is going to participate. I think it's more a volunteer, and I think also they need to make a contribution too. But that's going to be a real good asset for them too, for their employees.
You're talking about out at the industrial park and some of these other people, so they could. If
they wanted to come and contribute to that, then they could participate too, because that's a big building. And even the back office areas most people have never seen those.
Yeah.
That's a big square footage too. So,
so that'd be a fantastic use, and it'd be a great help to the people.
And I think it's a good investment. I mean, we've got the money, and might as well spend it.
For sure.
Because people behind us may go in and spend it anyway. So.
Spend it on something you see worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's forthcoming. That's in the works. I mean, the money's already put in, and we dedicated, and hopefully we'll get some things done. Roger's saying we'll get some things done hopefully before the fair. I said, well, let's fix the heat and air. That'd be probably a big win before the fair. And
then we'll go, nice and cool
then we'll go from there.
The fair's not that long away.
No, it's not.
Too long.
Blink of an eye.
Yep. What else? I mean, did we make improvements over to the dog park, or are we making any improvements over there?
Yeah, we're in the process of it. I mean, we have plans to, Kathy Brown donated, I think, 6 more acres to the back end of the dog park. So we're going to extend some walking trails. The whole dream is to be able to connect from there to Aspire.
Yes.
And it's not easy. You can't draw a line and do it because there's state property, there's federal property, and private property.
Yeah.
But we're getting closer to that line where we can do that. Of course, Joe, he wanted to do it last week, but we can't do that, Joe. And bless his heart. I mean,
he's ready to go.
He's ready to
when
go.
He's ready to go.
He's ready
to go.
I respect that. But we have a disc golf and I don't know how we came up with a 12-hole golf course, but we'll be able to redesign that and do the 18 holes. We'll put JB on that.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I tell you, if you've never been, that's not a dog park. There's walking trails over there. Sure. You can walk, but it gives such a different perspective of downtown
from across
the river because it's the water towers there and it's the oversight. I mean, it's just really pretty. It's just it's like I've never seen the town from this angle.
It's a beautiful piece of property and it was just kind of sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
You guys have plans and future hopes to put a dock down there for some of the
we're going to do a dock, a rolling dock.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And we had Minnesota came this year.
I saw a bunch of them.
There's a bunch. I wish we were more. Our waterway apparently is just not as good as what Oak Ridge has. It's just not a straight waterway. It has more. But from a workout standpoint, it's a good place.
Yeah, for the competition, we don't have the width, I think, of what they're talking about.
But for somebody to come and practice and do all that stuff. And
I was down there a couple weeks ago and just, you just idle through when you're down there. There's so many people. Yeah. But I was amazed at the number of schools. They were having some kind of competition.
They had, I think it was national championships.
Yeah, they've had national.
I'm surprised they didn't. I just never heard about it because
I heard about
that's pretty
some
big,
of
that's big time.
And they had the Olympic time trials down there before. I mean, I think it just became old hat because they've, you know what I mean? They've had it done so much.
And just think of especially Oak Ridge specifically, but it's the millions and millions and millions of dollars they bring in tax revenue, and we do pretty well. We know they come here.
Sure.
And we kind of pamper to them a little bit. I mean, we can try to give them things that they need. And
they've parked down on the ball field and launched from down there.
But the only thing we ask, if you stay here, stay in Clinton.
Sure.
And they do that. They go to the interstate and they eat here and they get their gas here. So it's a bump. We could do more. It'd be nice to be able to get more.
Sure.
But I don't know how many teams could be able to fit down there.
I mean, again, from my years being on the river and just the few I've spoken with, it's good. We're a good waterway for them to practice and them to work out and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's close to when they go to if they go compete, they can go.
They put in down there and came all and they come all the way down here working out all the way down through here and then back.
I remember some of the more experienced listeners will remember this. I remember when the old Scottish Inns were in. That's where the Walgreens is now.
Absolutely.
I think it was Dartmouth. Dartmouth they came and they even rode back then. Jim Ramsey's really been instrumental. And I think he got Minnesota down. Michigan State used to come years and years. But if you have a couple of years where you just have bad weather, then you're just like, well, you may try somewhere else. But I think they've been lucky since they came back.
It's a good thing for
COVID into some of that too,
I think it's a good thing for our community. I enjoy it. It's just, I don't know why, but I just enjoy watching them, go out there and practice, work up and down the water. You can hear them coming, their little microphones, That's pretty cool.
Something else we're going to do in August, just people are asking for it, more pickleball courts. So that all the other 2 remaining tennis courts that are on lakefront, we're changing both of those over to pickleball.
Okay.
So instead of having just 4 courts, we're going to have 12 courts.
Oh, wow.
So, and hopefully, there's some people.
I know the Chamber's having a pickleball tournament.
Yeah, I know Bryce Kidwell, and he has a big group, and Josh Queener with him. So that I'm sure they can organize and do some tournaments here and there. And in the winter offering from the community center, we offered pickleball indoor.
Yeah,
and I think that was a great success. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's just listen to our citizens and see what they like, and if we can do it, we want to do it too.
Sure.
And I think it's working out for us. right now.
That's why it's one of the reasons I wanted you to come. I mean, look, I'm making notes. I've scribbled all over this thing.
You're like me. I make notes and I can't read my notes.
Well, once it cools off, I can't read it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So I wondered, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, we're changing our the bowling lanes in the community center. That's probably going to be another year or so. But it's funny. I was thinking it was 77. It might be 77 or 78. It's kind of funny. They had a guest book then. And Roger had it in his office, and I went through and I had signed my name.
Oh, wow. You went in to go bowling?
Yeah. No, it was at the grand opening of the community center.
Really?
I was 12, and I was like, we did all I did all that stuff. But anyway, when they opened the bowling alley up, that was used. Bones, they bought it used from somewhere.
The bowling alley
used. So that's not even a new bowling alley that's getting old. It's an old bowling alley that's getting older. So we're working on that too, and that's the biggest thing in the community center.
It's surprising. Some people might be surprised, but they're used, aren't they? The bowling lanes are used.
Yeah, the Tuesday nights used to be a big bowling night. When I was growing up, we had a youth league.
Yeah,
it was packed.
I did too. I was in a youth league up in Campbell County.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and and it's from a kid's standpoint too. I don't know if we're going to change how you do the score, but so that's a good math lessons to keep score and stuff, because it's different versus just having figure for you. But I don't know if we're going to go to that or not. That's not my job grade. So.
Are you going to replace the old equipment with new equipment?
Yes.
Okay. So it'll be like new bowling.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be new. It won't be old new.
New old stock.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's exciting. What else we have cooking? Were you guys doing any road projects or anything? We working on that? I know you had done some up through here like last few years.
It's kind of weird. I was thinking, when I first came on board and Roger first came on board, I mean, paving was the big issue, and now we're getting back to, hey, we got to start paving again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think the biggest issues that I know that not really anything big is we got to redo the parking lot behind the Darty building, or have them do it because they damaged it. And we're going to redo the lines a little bit better than we did last time to be able to have more cars and stuff back there. The walking trails need to be paved, especially in J.C. Park.
Yeah.
I don't know if any specific roads have been identified, but we're going to, the smart thing to do is put $300,000 or $400,000 to make it a line item every year.
That way you've got it when you need it.
Yeah, and just do that versus, when we came on, and money was tight back then. I'm not picking on anybody, but now you're looking at, well, every road needs to be paved.
Yeah,
that's $4 million.
That's what started when you guys came in.
Yeah,
you had a plan to redo all of them.
Yeah,
I remember.
And we did. It just you kind of make yourself spread it out because it makes more sense, because then you can take little bites.
But then now you're done. You're starting all back over.
But it still starts in that sequence too. We got I don't know if we told you about this or not, but it's pretty neat technology. They, used to, we just like, well, it's been 12 years going to pay, but there's trucks that you can get that goes over the surface of the asphalt, and it's computerized and all that stuff, and they will tell you the life of that,
what's left in it,
and give you a recommendation, which is pretty neat.
Cool.
But you can push it back a year or two, then that's
money.
It's not a bad thing. Or you can use that money for something else.
So we've got one or two restaurants open in downtown that we're going to have. Anything else anything that you know of that's going on up by the interstate?
I was going to say something smart, but I won't say that. I'll say it during the break, I'll tell you. I will say this, I'm not anti-business at all, but that just broke my heart seeing that oil lube place open up, and I wish them well and all that. But man, that's our last.
We all hoped it was going to be.
It's going to be Aubrey's, and they were hot and heavy about it, and for whatever reason, and I've said this, and that those type of restaurants kind of just fallen out of favor.
It seems like.
The sit-down restaurants, because everybody's in a hurry. But man, I tell you what, one thing we do, and I'm first in line. We support our restaurants.
Absolutely.
And if Aubrey's came down or somebody like that, they would do very well.
I agree.
Happy Hostess downtown on Market Street is doing fantastic. Of course, you got Hammocks opening up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If you haven't eaten at the Pearl, it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
And I got some facts on that too. I hope Joe doesn't get mad at me. He didn't send it to me, so I don't feel like I have to ask him.
Okay.
But it was sent to somebody. But want to try to summarize this.
Is it just the economic impact it's having?
Yeah. Did you get that?
I have not.
I'm about to say, if you got it and I didn't, I'm going to be
I didn't
be jealous. It just says, based on year-to-date numbers, we estimate that there will be at least 500,000 visitors in 2025.
Oh, wow.
500,000 people come into the park. And that greatly exceeded the expectations of 275,000.
Wow.
I don't think Joe would mind me saying this. I
No.
think Joe, but also a further amazing amount is we estimate 262,000 unique individual visitors in 2025. So that means that the average person likes it enough to come back.
Go twice, yeah.
And what's interesting is, I know you've been there too, and I like that. But when we went Mother's Day, and it was packed.
Yeah.
I recognized 2 people, and I think it's a good. Yeah, people are coming from out of town.
Yeah.
Cool. A third outstanding number is that we have had 740 unique visitors from different counties in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And this does not count international visitors. And the average stay time at the park is 76 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How many counties do we have in the country?
In the whole country?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, I don't know. We have like 90. Don't we have like 90-something?
93?
In Tennessee.
I think
so
93 or 95.
To be safe, 100 times 50 would be, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So 740 counties, that's a large representation of the country.
Yeah. But it's amazing because, I talk about Aspire a lot when I'm out. And we was at a function, saw Mayor Kincannon from Knoxville, and I talked to her, I said, hey, you need to come to Aspire. She said, what's that?
What's Aspire?
I was like, wow, they used to laugh after, y'all, a lot of people come to Knoxville, come to Clinton every now and then.
Yeah,
but I said, no, you got to come. And I gave her like a brief overview, and she didn't know anything about it. But there's more and more now. I said, yeah, I've heard about that. I need to come. Or I've been there. It's great.
I guess because we're here, we knew about it, but I don't know how people could keep from knowing about it. It's been talked about all over the place.
It's kind of crazy, the social media that we have in our lives today. And I think less information is given out than before. I don't know how that is.
Well, less important information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like that there's a lot of information, but not all of it is important, and therefore we glaze over it, maybe sometimes missing important stuff because of the sheer amount that we're bombarded with, I guess.
Yeah. Another thing, top of mind, near and dear to your heart too, the red light at Mariners Point.
Yeah, that's good.
It's out to bid.
Okay.
So we should be getting those and approving the job in June meeting.
Oh, cool.
So we're still looking probably November date. It's the wheels of
that'll
government.
Help. I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah, you take a left turn out of there. You got better say a prayer before you go.
I think it'll help too, maybe with some of the volume that lines up when we get out of school and we get out of some of that it'll line up all the way back past Food City, coming in on the main red light. Maybe with the traffic stoppage at Mariner Point, you
could space it out.
Space it out a little better. It seems like.
Yeah.
You could use it for traffic control in that aspect.
I have it because people say, oh, there's a lot of, Clinton's growing too much, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of disagree with that. I mean, we have some growth, but it's really minimal for.
And Ira, it's been like that at 4:00 in the afternoon since I've been here.
Yeah, but I think what again, my theory is 2 things. Number one, it's a lot of people are driving through Clinton.
Sure.
To get on the interstate to go to Lake City. Rocky Top.
Yeah.
Or Andersonville.
Yeah.
I think everybody's getting off work from the plants and going that way. And number 2, I think there's still a lot of people that are in their 80s, moved in to work in Oak Ridge back in the 50s, and they're getting older. They're probably alone or with another person, no kids. They're all grown and gone. Well, they're passing on, and the houses are being bought by younger people with kids.
Sure.
And there's more people that way. And I think it's a natural way that the city is growing. It's just the cycle that we're in right now.
Do you happen to know if our attendance at city schools has changed, went up, stayed the same?
It's gone up, but I don't think it's anything. I think somebody told me like that, for example, the Daugherty building, I'd heard that they've gotten 1 child.
Okay.
But those 4 units that still are open may be all maybe all 3-bedroom apartments are open.
Sure.
But I don't know that. But I don't. Kelly B, of course, would be the better person to ask. But I don't think it's been that great. I think it has grown, but not to a great degree.
Not enough to tax the system. You know what I mean?
No, but I tell you, it's going to be interesting to see what Anderson County High School looks like in Andersonville and Norris, just with that D.R. Horton. Number one, the growth on that side of the county, and also places like D.R. Horton.
It's what 200 and
yes, 278, and I mean if you count 1.2 kids per household, I mean you're looking at 500 more kids.
Yeah, what are they going to do with that? That's
I hope they have a plan.
Yeah.
Hope they have a plan.
Well, they're building a new school in Claxton. I don't know how that's going to help out there, but you're right. Those kids will be at Anderson County High School. They'll be at Andersonville and all that.
And I don't know they're both, Clinton and Anderson County are both, of course, county schools, so maybe they can move some people one way or the other. But typically the hard line is from where the bridge is, the Veterans Bridge.
Yeah.
Over is Anderson County. Into town is Clinton.
Yeah.
But they may change. That's something I don't have to worry about. That's not my job.
Something they definitely are going to have to be, have to make plans for.
Yeah, yeah.
What about years ago when I was down talking to Roger, he had a map up, and he was already talking to the state about infrastructure and traffic down there by that red light going out. What are we doing? I mean, we've done some stuff, we or the state, but are there any more plans down there to try and make that better?
There were plans, and to be honest with you, I haven't heard anything going the last year or two from like Ray Varner to the interstate. They were going to add another lane on both sides.
Yes.
But I haven't heard. Now they're paving. They're starting to pave from, I guess, Clinton Drug towards the interstate.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure that's not a factor I would have heard about if they were going to do that. But there's capacity to do that. That's the state,
right?
It's a state road. It's the state's determination. And, we're still in the – luckily, it's not like Knoxville where it's busy all the time now, or in Atlanta where it's always – the roads are always busy. Usually it's that early morning time and that 4 to 6 time. Then it kind of quietens down after that.
You adding all the –
and having a school down there doesn't help. I mean, it's a lot of traffic coming in. But it's a short period of time.
When you got the huge growth there behind the drugstore, all those apartments they've put in back there. And now you've got, like you said, the development's coming in 278 different homes. And it's going to add, just those two things will add substantial traffic. But, again, hopefully they've got it worked out. Anything else going on in the city you want to tell folks about? I just wanted to.
Probably. I can't remember all. I mean, the city's just, like I said, a year from now, it's going to be really exciting to see all the work that's been done and how that's going to look. I'd be happy if anybody has a question, want to call in. That's fine.
Let's do that. Let's see if anybody's got any questions. 865-457-1380. Mayor Scott Burton's with us this morning. If you've got any questions about the city of Clinton that he might be able to answer for you, feel free to call us. We'll be back here in just a moment to take your calls if we have any.
Springtime is a great time to take a good look at those floors. And if looking at those floors gives you a longing for something new, you need to pay a visit to Karen's Carpet Sales. Right now, Karen's has a sale on LVP from Southwind. It's a waterproof floating floor that repels dirt and grime. It's easy to clean, and best of all, it's just $1.99 per square foot at Karen's. And it comes with a 25-year residential warranty. With all the beauty of nature blooming all around us, you can bring some new beauty to your home with new flooring. Maybe you're looking for carpet or laminate. Karen's Carpet Sales can help you decide on just the look you want. When your floors look good, you feel good. Come on into Karen's Carpet and bring your imagination. Karen's is your flooring headquarters, and right now, LVP from Southwind is on sale for just $1.99 per square foot. Karen's Carpet Sales, serving East Tennessee for over 50 years. 1961 Clinton Highway in Claxton. 865-945-3353. That's 945-3353. Karen's Carpet Sales, the store that gives you more.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wine. Guys in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hammers is celebrating spring with bargains blooming everywhere. Every week, there are new shipments of ladies' famous label sportwear and men's branded clothing. Ladies and girls' trendy boutique fashions are always 25% off at Hammers. Check out the new arrivals of spring clothing and accessories from Simply Southern. Ladies and men's swimsuits have arrived just in time for spring trips to the beach. Enjoy hot deals on men's shirts, pants, and shorts from famous makers like Wrangler, Huck, Columbia, Magellan, Tommy Bahama, Drake, and many, many more. Continue your spring cleaning and save now on a truckload sale of throw rugs and area rugs. The spring silk flowers are in. Either make your own arrangements with stems and bushes from Hammer's beautiful assortment or purchase an arrangement made by our staff. Also, visit Hammer's Facebook and Instagram for daily deals. Come and see us at Hammer's, Clinton, Sevierville, Wartburg, Halls, and New Tazewell. If you miss a day, you miss a bargain.
Hammer's Discount Stores. If you haven't been to Hammer's, you should see us now. O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads. No. T-shirt cannon. I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great day, but stay weather alert. We are under a big risk for severe weather. Now, there is a chance for some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms as we get into the lunch hour and shortly thereafter, but the main event comes through overnight tonight. Damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes, and flooding and flash flooding are a major concern. Track it with the East Tennessee Weather app. It's 100% free. Check in with your daily forecast weather updates to always stay in the know. That's a check of your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Mike Witcher from the East Tennessee Weather Center for AM 1380, FM 101.1, and FM 99.5 WYSH.
Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a question or comment for Mayor Burton today?
Yes, I do. I woke up a little bit too late there, Ron. I was wanting to watch the whole program there. I woke up a little bit late there, but I watched one of the city-county meetings here sometime back there, but I thought that I heard that Scott said that he was going to run for re-election. He said, you don't have to call and ask no more. I'm going to rerun again. And that Roger, he was going to stay on till like 2032. Is that correct?
That's correct. Roger, number one, he really enjoys what he's doing, and he's been a great city manager, and there's still a lot of projects to get done, and and he wants to stay on, and I certainly respect that. Hopefully he stay on longer, but we extended.
I was kind of thinking there. Of course, I ain't no spring chicken. I thought that burn them two guys there. They're going to be a couple more strong Thurmans. They'll be 90 before they ever get out there.
Well, we're
not that old.
I'll be 60 in January, and Roger's a year older than me. So I think if I get a chance to run one more time, it might be a good time for me. I'll be right at 65, and Roger will be 66, and we can ride off together.
Oh, okay. There you go, then.
But I do have some good news. Maybe not for everybody, but I went and had my annual checkup yesterday, and we're talking about my
healthy,
my my lifeline as far as my mom and dad and grandparents and everything, and I'm trying to do a little bit better. He said, you can live up to the 90s. So maybe I will try to be a strong Thurman. No, not one.
Did you get a written guarantee with any of that?
No, I didn't. Well, first of all, I said I don't want to live into my 90s. I mean, if I can't, I don't want to be a burden on anybody. But
well, maybe you'll live long enough to where you guys can get in and out of Mariner Ford a little bit easier if you ever get a red light.
Amen. This November, December, we'll have it.
The other question I had for you, Scott, was I was wanting to know, I've not heard anything in a while. How's your daughter doing?
She's doing great. I'm really been proud of her. Well, my oldest daughter, I know you're asking about Sarah, but my oldest daughter got married a couple of weeks ago, and they just came back from their honeymoon. They went to Rome. And a real quick story about that, their last day was a Thursday, which, it was a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. But anyway, they were eating dinner, and a lot of people were just running down the street. First of all, I would have thought, that was a terrorist attack or something. You think the worst. Well, that's when they decided on the Pope. They decided the Pope. So they finished their dinner real quick and ran down to the Vatican and watched the Pope come out and speak for the first time. So that was a pretty cool story to have. But Sarah's doing great. She transferred last year from University of Virginia at WYSH and transferred to Lenore Ryan in Hickory, North Carolina. It was a great move. This aligns better with the coach. Hickory's a beautiful town. But
I've been there many times.
Yeah, and she played a lot of minutes. She didn't score as much as she usually has, but it was a pretty senior-laden team. So I think she's going to definitely take more of a leadership role this year, and I look forward to seeing her again. I didn't miss a game last year; it about killed me. But I want to try to do it again.
That's a lot of driving.
That's the last 2 years I haven't missed a game.
That's a lot of back and forth.
It was plus the Interstate 40 was closed, so I had to go through. I had to get off Newport and go through Hot Springs.
Yeah.
And go up that way.
Go up like to WYSH, Virginia, and come down?
No. Is get off Newport and take a left to Hot Springs. And then go through and come up. Go up I don't know where. I just stayed on GPS. But it had another 40 minutes one way to the drive. But I just don't want to miss
conference that they play in. Gosh, I can't remember what the name of that.
It's South Atlantic.
But it was there close. But it was another town and community called Clinton.
There's one there in North Carolina.
Yeah, there's a Clinton in pretty much every state. Yeah. But it is a very competitive conference. It's South Atlantic. It's Carson Newman, my Tusculum. Lord, I can't remember. What's the one in Harrogate?
Lincoln.
Yeah, LMU, UVA WYSH, and a lot of good schools in North Carolina and South Carolina. It is. It's very competitive. I mean, Carson Newman's. I mean, they should really probably be D1 just based on their enrollment. But but I'm super proud of her. She started her first intern this summer, and I think she's on her fourth day. I think she's ready to go back to school.
Okay. Yeah, it won't be too long there.
No.
I was talking last night there. I was on the phone there for a little bit there with Crawdaddy, and I got to talk to our new Clinton High School football coach, Jake. He was down there. He started up a Thursday night poker game.
Well, I was there. I was listening to you. Oh yeah. We've done that off and on for 10 or 15 years.
Oh yeah. I told him, I said, well, that new coach, he's probably got a pretty good supplement there. Y'all need to go ahead and try to take some.
Well, he wouldn't play with us.
I think he's up $50 right now. He's got a whole pile of quarters over here.
Well, hey, to be fair, because people were gambling illegal and all that. Trust me, it's nickels and dimes.
Oh yeah, it's just nickels and quarters.
Maybe a quarter every now and then.
If you're a big spender, go to court.
That's right.
He said, I think I'm going to have to put an ATM down here. Harmoning's down to pennies right now. I'm glad you guys had a good time. But I appreciate you coming in and talking with the show and everything today, Scott. Good luck to you. Have you heard anybody? Are they going to run against you or anything?
I hope not.
Yeah, it'd be a little cheaper on you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I always like it when it has to buy advertising.
There you go there, Ron. Maybe you might be up for running for mayor.
No.
Are you out of politics?
I don't know if I'm out of politics, but I'm out of these politics.
Okay, then. All right. You guys have a good day.
Thank you.
See you, pal.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Mike. There you go. Well, really, at the end of the day, the state of the state's pretty good, huh?
It is. It is. I'm proud of where I live, and man, there's just a lot of exciting things. And
what's down the road? What's on the horizon? Are there any projects we're looking at? You guys are shooting toward that?
Well,
we haven't?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're still always looking for grant opportunities. Like, for example, the TAP grant that we have that we're doing for market domain. The second, that's market domain was project one.
Yes.
Into then, for the most part, market to broad was number two. So we're doing those together.
Yeah.
Well, we also applied for a third one that we got the money for, but we had to use that money a little bit on the 1 and 2 because they were so far over. And they told us to do that, reapply. But the third one's from broad to Clinch and Main.
Okay.
So you can still do that, and as long as everything touches.
Yeah.
I would personally like to do North Hicks and kind of make it more of a square, because like Broad Street, they'll go all the way out to Broad.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's just not a one single lane they're doing. They're kind of doing some like Cullum and the Church Street. They're doing some things on that too. But I would like to do the North Hicks if that funding's still available. But again, Ron, to be honest with you, I'd love to do it, but it's going to be somebody that's going to be there 2 times after I leave. I mean, it's like a 7-year project. I mean, that's one good thing for the council. A lot of the councilmen and staff has been here together. We can get some of these long-term projects done because, when you get elected, there's something I want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to do this.
Sure.
I mean, you have different things. I respect that, but you got to really have the fortitude
and
to stick with it, and we'd be able to do that.
Well, we're getting a lot of stuff done that I know. It's taken a while to get, but it's worth the wait. The wait. Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a question for Mayor Burton today?
Yeah, I noticed they was putting a camera up at Main at Market. Are they going to start putting those throughout the city?
Main and Market camera?
Yeah, it looks to be they was putting the camera that's pointing down Market. I don't know if you knew anything about that. I seen it this morning.
I don't, be honest with you. Okay. We have cameras in some areas just for my.
Not a traffic camera.
Not a traffic camera or anything. It's just more of a security camera.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know anything about that. But I know we have done some of those things.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a question for Mayor Burton today?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right.
The property over where the Kmart used to be, where Ingles is now, 2 questions. Is Ingles going to ever build a gas station over there? And second question is, Kmart building is just sitting down there falling down, and is there any way that you can get Chick-fil-A to come in there and take a look at it? And I'll be listening.
All right.
I would love a Chick-fil-A. I think I've spent enough to have one of those franchises. And you know this, Ron. Ingles has been very
privately owned.
Yeah, it's privately owned. I mean, we can't tell them what to do as long as they stay within code. That's when that building in the middle, when it collapsed, they were fast to come in and clean it up. I've always said, Ingles isn't in the retail business. They're in the real estate business.
Yeah.
And they collect real estate. And they had plans. I know when the father was alive, they had grand plans. Ingles is, I'm sure they're not listening, but is one of those companies like, well, if you do this, you need to do this, and we'll look at it. You need to do this, and we'll look at it. And we've done a lot of those things naturally. The bridge was a big thing. You do that. You clean up some of the properties, do that. I mean, I think we've cleaned up some.
Well, they were. I mean,
but that's the biggest property that needs to be cleaned up.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the eyesore.
Yeah.
But
and I know that they drew plans. I know they had. I looked at it in 2009 or 8 or whenever I saw them. So I know they had an intention of doing it, and there's a business model that said it was worth doing it. So.
Yeah. There was the plan I saw. You might have saw this one too, where the Kmart is where they were going to build the new building,
yes.
And in front of that, to answer one of your questions, they're going to put gas pumps there,
mm-hmm.
and do some other small stores like most stores have, like the Kroger's have, different stores. But, I've had people for years, 15 years, say, I've tried to call one to rent one of these stores out, and they're just not returning the phone calls. They're not interested. But, I even came to them, and we were just talking. I'm not saying I came up with this grand idea. They probably already thought about it, but they were talking about they didn't have the track. They were worried about because at the time they build just one size fits all, which I disagree with because, going to watch Sarah play basketball, I go through a lot of small towns in North Carolina.
Sure.
And all of them are a heck of a lot nicer than ours, and they're different sizes. So unless that model's just changed over the years.
Exactly.
But we were thinking, we had a discussion. I hate to say, well, I didn't do it. We had a good discussion at one time where they were talking about we don't know if we have enough population to support a store, full-size store that they build. And the conversation we had was, well, you've got all this property around your building. Have you ever thought about putting apartments or multifamily homes back there to support your business? And they kind of like that. They said, well, we look into it. I know Kathy Brown owns some of that building, that property. They talked to Kathy, and I think there was conversations about price and things. And it's went dead. Yeah. So I think it's a management issue. You go to Food City, which that's I kind of miss Sam. I kind of went there just to see Sam most of the time, but they lose a lot they have that spillover business because they just can't accommodate all the business they have. It's busy
all the time.
So another grocery store there in Ingalls, I would argue that the fear of crossing that bridge I don't think it's there anymore to the degree that they feel more comfortable crossing the bridge to go shop at Ingalls.
Well, they should.
But they just, I'm a strong believer. People that invest here in the community, they need to be good community partners too.
I agree.
Like Food City is.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of industries that are. That's all America. They're fantastic.
It'd just be nice if they would let you guys in on what their plan is. If we just knew what they were doing.
But I don't think they have a plan, Ron.
That's probably the problem.
I think their plan is nothing. I think eventually Kmart probably within 5 years, the roof will cave in and they'll come tear it down and clean it up. And that'll be that.
That's sad.
And I know the right side of the buildings aren't in good shape either.
Again, that's a perfect place.
And I'm sure, as far as our tax revenue, they're probably top 20 or 25.
Well, again, with the Aspire Park, with the things that we're doing, you would think it's a no-brainer right now. This is the time to do it if they're going to do something.
If they can't do it now, I just don't know what else we need to do. We've offered them, the TIFs and pilot and whatever just to entice them to do it, and still no bites.
That's crazy.
If anybody has any ideas, please let me know.
Well, I was just trying to get line one. If you guys want to call right back, I'll put you right on. I'm sorry, 865-457-1380 or 877-711-400.
And we've had people, come and I know there's been other grocery store chains that come in and has offered money, and they don't sell.
Aldi's still looking somewhere in the area. Did you hear?
I haven't heard. I think the only thing I heard about Aldi is that it probably didn't meet our demographics. In Aldi's a little bit more.
A specialty.
I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody about, I guess that Big Lots is going out.
Is it?
Big Lots, for the most part, it's pretty much all gone.
I've heard there.
But, I helped open that store up when I was in college. That was my winter break.
You did?
Worked like a dog.
Stocking?
$5 an hour, yeah. But I don't know if I've been in it since, to be honest with you. No, I've been in it a couple of times.
You were in it too much.
But I know Joe had a hard time when Hammers moved, and he just ended up doing that self-storage.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
Those big spaces are hard to fill now.
Yeah, they just don't see them that much anymore.
Yeah, if in a perfect world, like Target would come down and build where Kmart is, that would be fantastic. I think they would do good. There's, that would draw. They'd get Campbell County business. They'd get a lot of business. But
I'm sure their business model for like Walmart's is, I don't know how many miles you think it'd be. 30 miles probably.
Where's the closest one? Turkey Creek?
Probably Oak Ridge.
Is there a Target in Oak Ridge?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Walmart.
Target. I was talking about Target.
Yeah.
A Target right there would be.
Yeah.
I think would be good. They looked at coming to Oak Ridge.
Well, I like Chick-fil-A too.
Chick-fil-A would be good. It would, again, it's just like when they started building at the interstate. They didn't even have the buildings finished, and they had them leased. You know what I mean? All these little bitty pizza places and all that. Build it and they'll come. That's for sure.
Absolutely, especially as food.
All right. Looks like our call. Somebody was on. I was trying to give them time to call. Their phone might have died. Somebody was on hold on line 4, but gave them time to call back. Anything else you want folks to know about? Anything? Hopefully we've answered everybody's question.
No. If having, listening concerns. I think we're doing very well right now, and trying to get some things done. And just stay tuned, because I think next year is going to be even a better place to raise a family and
reappraisals. You just talked about it a little bit on us. So folks living in the city, that's not going to change. We don't make any, just like the county, we can't make any more money off reappraisals. So will our tax rate readjust?
You could. Yeah. We're not going to do it. When they adjust the tax rate down, so I think we're projecting. Anybody that sees staff's probably holding their breath right now when I'm talking.
Well, we're at 86
We're at 86.
Right now.
It's probably going to be in the 40s.
Yeah.
So, but let's say it's 45 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some people will make it 48, because I know cities and counties have done that before.
Yeah.
If it's 45, well, it's like, oh, it's down to 48, and just the person doesn't pay attention is, oh, it's it's low, but really it's a 3-cent tax increase.
Yeah, it's 3-cent tax increase.
So we're not going to do that.
Good.
But I'd say, if I had to guess, there's probably some areas, cities and other entities, probably looks like what I've been hearing is going to have to raise taxes, which is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Because what today is like a 6 cents tax increase, in the future is going to be 12 cents.
Yeah.
And that's what they get you on, Ron.
No, I know. I remember we've done it here.
It's all about what that penny's worth.
Well,
when I first started, when I first became mayor, that penny was 23 cents. $23,000 was one penny.
It's over 100,000.
Well, no, not for us. Not now. It's like 40-something thousand now.
Yeah.
But in the new appraisal, that penny is going to represent close to probably 80,000.
Yeah.
If ours is 80,000, then the county's is probably going to be 240,000.
Yeah.
Because usually 3 times.
I've got.
So that penny increase is still going. It's going to hurt more than it used to.
See, if I wouldn't have had you on today, the show was going to be about the 2 cents that they took for the industrial property.
Yeah, I've heard you talking about that.
Robbie sent me where all they've spent it. I'm going to be able to tell everybody what they did with that money. He sent me all the codes where they've changed it, moved it into the general fund, and what they've used it for. So there'll be a day I come up and talk about that. I just think they ought to give it back. That's what I think. But I've in my life of being here, I've seen, I believe, one tax decrease, and that was like 1/2 cent that Terry did when she very first got in.
Yeah.
And other than that, I never remember.
Yeah. Well, one thing I haven't talked about real quick that one of the things I'm very proud of that we've done is this time next year we'll be debt free.
Yeah.
And that's something to be proud about. I mean, how many cities our size are debt free? That's going to free up it's going to be a little bit over $1 million that's going to be freed up. Now, personally, I would like to give some of that back to our citizens, but then at the same time, we got to look at capital projects.
We need a fire station up by the interstate, don't we?
No, we don't.
You don't think so?
No, David's going to be here Monday. He's going to disagree with me. There is a master agreement.
I know that.
But our call time right now, I say no. I mean, I don't think so. That's not my call. It's Chief Little's and
But you
staff.
don't think we're going to grow up there? You don't think
we will? I agree. At some point we will. I just don't think we're there yet. We're about a 4-minute time frame from Longmire Station to the interstate. But you got to think we have very little outside of the D.R. Horton behind the Walgreens. That's Clinton, and I think that's pretty much. We have maybe just 1 or 2 more houses down there. Everything that's been built there, from a retail standpoint, is sprinkled.
So they're already protected.
Yeah, there's somewhat of protection there. Yeah. Now you can say, well, there's car accidents and things, and I get that too. But I just don't want, because once you build it, it's there forever. And I don't think anybody from the county is going to make us.
You don't foresee a time where you guys are going to have to annex some of that, take some of that into the city, and
we can't annex anymore. Not like we used to.
Well, we can't.
They have to raise their hand and say, we'd like to be annexed.
Like if Glen Alpine wanted to be annexed, they could.
But the ones that I think Glen Alpine tried since I've been around, and it was no. Hunter's Trail.
Yeah, they tried.
They said no, which it makes sense. Even Anderson County High School isn't. Nothing.
My foresight would say that sooner or later it's going to build up, and the city might want to annex it just so that you can have control of the growth and some of the other stuff. But that's, I don't know how far down the road.
But our buddy, Sleepy Eye John.
Yeah.
John
Alvis.
John changed state law. I mean, I'm saying I'm not saying it's a great thing, but I tip my hat off to him that he felt strongly because, it's when Norris came in and tried to take his business and some other areas down there. They said no. And it went to the state and he won. So, all these growth plans we had 20 years ago and all that stuff, they're gone.
Well, a lot of the growth plan, I mean, it's happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not exactly the way.
But our growth plan, I think, it probably affected us so much because we did have a pretty strong growth plan from post office to the interstate. Yeah. As far as a certain year time, we would annex that.
And I think the bridge and the stuff that we're doing in South Clinton is just a bonus. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? That wasn't foresaw, I don't think. 15, 20 years ago, we weren't talking about a new bridge.
Oh, no. And we didn't know probably 2 years before they were going to start building it.
So, it's, I think that opened up South Clinton to a lot of different things. A brand new bridge.
And I think Aspire's going to continue to change the landscape of that area.
Yeah, you go by, it's always there.
If you have 500,000 people coming to the park, there's going to be businesses to see that. And they're going to buy some land that's not retail now that will be retail. And it's a little restrictive just because of the right-of-ways and all that, but I think you'll see more businesses coming in because numbers speak, and they get the traffic counts, just like we do.
Yeah,
I'm talking about we as far as businesses.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%. I think that it's going to be something that grows South Clinton. It'll be a hub, kind of like the anchor that brings in a lot of different stuff around.
Absolutely. I
appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
We'll have to do it more often. There's just so much to talk about, so much that we've got going on, and it's all good. That's rare when you get to sit down and talk about everything good.
Well, just remember, we were talking during a break that whatever I messed up on, David's going to be here on Monday. He'll correct me.
He will.
In the nicest way he can.
Oh. Of course it'll be nice.
I know. We're buddies.
Yeah. All right. Burton, Mr. Burton, thank you for coming in. Mayor Scott Burton, we appreciate it.
And don't forget about the grand opening in Pamex, the 23rd and 24th.
23rd, 24th, we will be there. I won't be there. I'm leaving to go to the beach, but the stations will be there. I leave the afternoon of the 23rd. So I won't be back till the 30th. So I'm going to miss that. But I'll be down there eating, that's for sure.
Sure.
All right, folks, have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask your neighbor.